Right, artificial metal technique-y thing. Samara wanted this a long time ago, and I don't know when this is going to get put up. Hopefully soon. You need green paint. I use this one sometimes, or something that looks very much like this one when added to white, and a darker version of it. So basically I'm just making my own up. Whatever it is that you're doing needs to be matte black. And I'm just going to dump out a bit of white. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to blob a bit of this green as it comes out. Leave that there. Then blob a smallish amount of it. Come on, stop being a pain. Alright, move that over here. Right. So there's a bit more in this pile than there is in that pile. I'm going to put more white in that pile. And slightly less white in this pile. So basically I end up with 3 different greens and streaky bits of white in it. That's fine. It'll blend on the sponge. But really, you don't want it all one tone. Right, so that one's quite pale. This one is darker, and that one's just pure whatever green it is. And I've got a bit of streaky white hanging about the place. I've painted it matte black, and you just basically want to pick up, see there's random bits of colour in it, that's great. And it's going to look like you're putting too much on, but these on the high bits, on the high points, will more or less end up being covered. Yeah? So what you need to do is get it in the low points. So okay, there it goes on the high points, but you need to get it in those low points. So it will look like you've put too much on. As I say, it mixes on the sponge. That's why, you know, if it's looking like that's too whitey, pick a bit of the pure colour up and dibble dabble it in. Especially in deep nooks and crannies. I mean, scrape it in if you have to. but don't have it looking totally the same everywhere. And you can add a bit of white. You know, if that was really, really dark, add a touch of white to it in places, or the darker green. And think about where it would actually gather, and where the high points is where your metal would be cleanest, because it gets touched or weathered, you know, in that area. In places that are deep down inside, it'd go more green. And some places it'd stay black. Well, not it'd become black if it was a piece of metal. When you look at the finished thing, this looks like it's too much green on there, but really, just don't be put off by that. Look for if it's something that you're doing outside, look for, you know, that looks like it's been outside. Look for places where water would gather and turn the metal foisty. Or people would walk past and brush against it. And standing water would make it foisty. Running water would sort of semi-clean it. It depends what your project is and the look you want. I usually leave the pure dark green right to the end, mostly. Right, has that gone blurry? This bit, let me show you this first. I've got too much crapola everywhere. It looks way too much, but you'll see why in a minute. But it looks like there's too much green on there. If you do this with too much paint, you end up with blobs like that. If you want blobs like that, fair dinkum, do it like that. This one's a darker one. This was when I was practicing, and if you want it to look, can you see, excuse the colour of my fingers, but I've just been doing that. Right, you see that looks like metal sheen underneath. It looks like it's peeking underneath through all the patina. Well, it's on top, obviously. You'll see I'm doing it. And it catches all these high bits that would naturally get polished with wear, tear, you know. And it's in the deeper grooves where, you know, patina would build up. But you see that sheen? If you want to get that sheen, and there's bits that are good and bits that are bad, because I'm practicing. This is rather mucky inside, but chocolate box, not that it matters. the only way to get this so it actually looks like metal that's got a build-up of crud on it. This is the best paint that I've found. They do it in smaller ones, but I tried it with this stuff. It's not thick enough. It needs to be really, really thick stuff. And this is the only stuff, make, that I found that does it this well. I haven't got every make, you know, so this is just the one that I've got. I can't stress how little paint you need, and I'm sorry I don't have a clean one of these, but you can see there's no paint on this side. Now I'll show you, but it'll probably dry too quickly. You see that? That's probably a little bit too much, this bit here. And it's probably dry by now. It might not be, but what you've got to do, hang on, sorry, doing this really hurts me. It aggravates my problems. You see that it's there, very, very tiny amount, but really I could do with showing you something that's polymer clay, that sort of, I think, proves what I think happens. But in paint like this, you've obviously got miniature tiny pieces of glitter, and there's, in metallic polymer clay, there's a trick you can do, and it aligns all the particles. I don't even think I've got a piece that's baked. I can't think that I've got a piece that's baked that I could show you. When I get my pasta machine and everything and all my polymer clay stuff sorted, I'll show you what I'm talking about. But I think this rubbing like crazy with a tiny little bit of clay, paint aligns the particles in whatever way you're doing it in, and it helps. But mostly with this, what I think it is because you're rubbing it, you're obviously polishing it, and it helps the illusion of it looking more like metal underneath. I know you're applying it on top, but it gives the appearance that it's the opposite way up, that you're not putting metal on top, that it's metal underneath and it's peeking through. You could try it the other way by painting it all gold and then trying to do this bit. I don't know, I haven't experimented with it that way, but this way really does work. But like everything, it takes time to do. But as I say, minuscule amounts and a lot of rubbing. This I'm going to do a bit quicker, because I want it to have the appearance of the metal, but I'm not going berserk on doing it all the way. But I'll do this bit. on the really high points that you want, that was on the, you know, like the background flat bits, on the really high points on something like this, you can apply it. What I usually do is let the paint come up like that, sort of bang it, so I end up with tiny little amounts at the top. Sorry, with this one, because there's like rivets, screws, bolts and stuff, and not so many flat places with no items on, then this one will go quicker. But if you're doing something more like this with lots of flat, you know, like this massive flat bit here with no texture on, it's just tiny amounts and buffing like crazy. So this is going to be a little faster to do, and therefore less painful. But what you can do with this is put a little bit on your sponge, get over the big bits, and then move on to the flatter planes, which means you'll have far less on your sponge, so you don't need to bother about the tiny bits as much, you know, tiny bits on your sponge as much. It does wreck your sponge, and I'm afraid that this is my last one. If anybody sees anywhere that sells, because the only ones I can find are, you get 2 of these and a lot of other sponges, the big painty sponge, you know, paintbrush sponges that I won't use, and the packs aren't the cheap. Oh, oops, the packs aren't the cheapest. So yeah, if anybody sees where you can get this shape ones, then please let me know. So I got rid of most of that on the rivets, and then I'm cleaning my sponge off on that flat bit. Yes, so basically I'm doing it first on the bits that are going to be mostly whatever colour metal, you know, the goldy sort of colour. That was just showing you how much sponge it destroys. So I'm getting rid of most of the paint on the more prominent bits and then scrubbing what's left on the flatter bits. This is it before I did any painting on it, apart from its back legs. Its cake boxes, that black one at its belly actually says dragon on it, because it's dragon packaging, and that works. If anybody wants to know how I made that, just give us a shout. All that under its chin, and what I made the chain from there on that side, the stuck down chain, that's insulation off double core wire, the outer bit that was stripped down to get the inner bit out, and it was just knocking around, so I chopped it up and it looked like chain. Its monocle is the bottom of an egg carton, so is the recycle bit on its side, and all the rivets are hole punched from around the cogs that I made. That stuff there, that's electrical cord insulation stuff. Its bottom jaw is part of a cake box as well, you know, where you get 6 buns or 6 little pies. That round thing with the 4 things coming off it, just going past now, was the safety snap off the top of a bottle. That chain, I actually made that chain myself. There's how to make jump rings in another one of my videos. Yeah, so all the rivets are waste from when I was punching out the cogs. That recycle sign, that's off the bottom of an egg box. The screws I've shown before, how to do them. That's where it says dragon. It says dragon packaging on it, and I thought it was really appropriate. Oh yeah, it reminds me, a bit of a funny comment on when I did this Beer Mat Monster to start off with. Oh, sorry, its earring is a piece of bent wire glue, a bead, and it looks like a dragon. I've even made it a split tongue. Pardon? Baby dragon, baby Chinese dragon. Sorry, mixing kitchen, where he belongs, at the sink, wash it up, in your love. Yeah, somebody sent me a link to a video basically warning me that I'm probably going to hell for making a dragon. Really? You know, there's more important things. It's a piece of cardboard, it's art, and it's a bit of fun. You shouldn't, if dragons offend you, you shouldn't be watching videos with dragons in. That's, you know, I don't understand. Anyway, so please don't do that again. If you don't like it, just don't watch. Yeah, I don't know where else. Oh, them little squiddly bits on its face, they're just squiddly bits of wire. Its eyes are bling. There's a bling heart on it as well, and a few other bits like pearls and stuff. But the rest of it's rubbish. Alright, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share, comment. Bye. Thanks.